In this video, we will introduce you to the workflow component of Opentree's cabinet system. Workflow is a highly configurable branching, looping and circular tool to take care of the repetitive and managerial tasks of document management. It's been developed to save you money and time whilst controlling your documents to the most rigorous of industry standards. In this introduction, we'll show how Workflow can control the flow of a document through its lifecycle from design through checking and onto approval. The first step, or transition, of our example workflow is to send our document for checking. To do this, simply right-click the document concern, select Workflow, and then Send for Checking. Cabinet will always give the user an opportunity to add a note to any transitional change that the document goes through. This allows them to pass information or instructions to the next person in the chain. The next step in the wizard is to select the user that will perform the next action on the file, in this case Albert Verifier. This list of users is completely configurable. The list will only show users that have been granted the right to perform the next action on the document. To show the next stage, I will log out of Cabinet and then log back in as Albert Verifier. Albert Verifier has just received an email notification that he has a document waiting for him to verify and check, so we'll open the Cabinet client. Notice how I don't need to know where the document is in the structure. I can simply click on the special folder, Documents for my attention. This will list any documents that are waiting on Albert Verifier's attention. So, if I right-click the file and select Workflow, I now have an option for Review and Send for Approval. What this means is that we will in effect be performing two actions in one operation. This workflow transition is utilising secondary workflow authentication, so I'll need to enter Albert Verifier's workflow password. As we progress through the wizard, Cabinet will show the workflow actions that have happened thus far to this file, along with who performed them and when. I won't leave a note this time, it is optional after all. Again, we have a list of users presented that have been granted the rights to approve a document of this type. I'll select Angus Approver. OK, now I've logged out as Albert Verifier and back in as Angus Approver. I've gone straight to my Documents for my attention folder and our document is there waiting for me. So I'll right-click it, select Workflow and then Review and Approve, and then click through the wizard to finish the process. So I'll browse to the file in the tree and now I can preview it, and only preview because approving the file has locked the file from being edited. MicroStation is showing an alert that the file is read-only. This is normal behaviour. If I zoom to the title block in the Signatures panel, you can see that the produced and checked initials and dates have been completed. Workflow did this while it was processing the file. Workflow has also generated a PDF of the document whilst it was processing, and I can review this by selecting View Published. As you can see, the initials and dates are in the title block of the PDF rendition as well as in the actual file itself. Everything that happens to a document in Cabinet is captured in the document's history. The document's history is arranged in an easily navigated, chronologically organised list. If I browse through it and select a particular event, you can see that Cabinet has stored what happened, who did it, when they did it, and the results of what happened. All of these details are stored for each action that happens to a document. For example, this preview action shows that the file was previewed, the date that it was previewed, Annie Initiator was the previewer, and Annie was using machine TSA-XA-DK01 and the file that the file was copied out to on that machine. Similarly, workflow actions are recorded in the document's workflow history. In this panel we can see the workflow that document is assigned to is BS1192, its current stage is S0 approved, and the date that the file reached that stage, the stage date. Workflow isn't only about transitioning documents from one stage to another though, it's a lot more powerful than that. Batch printing, metadata insertions, metadata extractions, uploads to client CDEs, the list goes on. We hope you found this video introducing cabinet workflow useful. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more content.